empowering the community to not only feed themselves but to connect with the soil. That is a bit of the story of this organic garden. I'm joined by Jana, Wilbert and Philemon to tell me a little bit more about Food Tree. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll start with Wilbert. Wilbert, please tell me all about your connection with Oranienmoed.
I have been here 18 years. For past 6 years, I am Food Tree caretaker.
So that means you basically take care of this space and the garden in general. Jana, tell us about when and how this Food Tree community garden project came to be.
About 6 years ago, we became aware that there are a number of community members that have tremendous skills in growing crops, especially to alleviate household food shortages, but they don't necessarily have a space to live out that talent. And then through sponsorships and a lot of volunteer helpers, we were able to clear this derelict site of rubbish and dump, and then actually beyond the expectations of all the initial volunteers, it grew into what it is today, where we have more than 100 allotments where people can actually grow their own food.
What about the role this community garden plays in the Oranienmoed community?
One of the main principles of this project is that you arrive with the clothes that you are wearing. We provide the equipment and the seed and whatever else may be needed, and then you get allocated a piece of ground and it's your responsibility to cultivate that. Whatever you cultivate is then yours and you can decide what you do with that. But it's again that we are equal, working with the soil and working with nature to generate food on the one hand. On the other hand, a number of us wouldn't know the difference between a vegetable and a weed. So for those of us to actually learn how from each other, how to grow things. And then also we've got a very large component of children coming. So it gives them an opportunity to grow their own food, harvest it, and then also from time to time cook it together.
What are the age gaps? What's the age group like of the people who come to gather here on a Saturday morning, for example?
Our youngest allotment grower is 8 years old, and our oldest one is 68, so we cover 6 decades.
That's the whole community. Yes. Tata Wilbert, tell us about the challenges that you face when it comes to working in the community garden.
Yeah, the big challenge is the wind. As number two, the place is not big enough for the Oranienmoed community.
So more space is required to cater to everybody, really. And it's quite free for people to come in and join, especially if you want to do something and give back.
Absolutely.
Jana, please tell us the difference between traditional crop growing and commercial crop growing.
Commercial crop growing is on large scale, and one of the biggest costs would be labor. Therefore, you need to have unicultures growing because of the massive labor component, and you're feeding a lot of people. Traditional crop growing that we're practicing here, the labor component is dialed out because you're growing your own food. Hence, what you can see is that it's a variety of plants that we plant together. In the end, you're actually feeding the soil, and a healthy soil web is then actually what gives rise to these plants. We don't use any fertilizers or pesticides or fungicides. It's all natural here. And that would be the biggest distinction, I would say. At
the same time, also providing that health aspect for the community that helps them understand we're not adding chemicals. You are basically growing organic and you can just eat it from the soil.
Absolutely. So working with nature instead of against nature. So another aspect that we do, because pests are real everywhere, is focusing on companion planting. And companion planting entails planting plants together. For example, nostriums with spinach, because the nostriums will deter the pests that attack the thing. Likewise, there are a number of them. We've got a lot of herbs as well that will, the friendly insects that we want, they will then get them around for us. So again, it's that mix-up of nature and then harnessing nature's energy to create healthy food.
Jana, please tell us about your hopes and dreams for Oranienmoed.
This is such a unique environment to live in, and it's changed so many people's lives, not only the individuals working here, but also families wider and outside. Over decades, it's reinvented itself, and I really think that agriculture and food production can play a role into the future. And then also alternative energy like solar and wind, we're very well situated for that.
Tate Philemon, finally I get to talk to you a little bit. Tell us about what you enjoy the most about working in this environment and in this vegetable garden or in this garden.
Yes, most of the time I'm enjoying when I'm really go visit my garden, and I'm feel happy. You know, to see something which is planted with your own hands and harvest with your own hands feels so amazing. And I learned more about how to plant cloves.
Yes.
And end of the day, when I'm going maybe to visit another town or to my village where I'm from, I will learn more people community how to plant cabbage or spinach or whatever, carrot and onion.
Yes. Yeah.
Without any, let me say, just with a natural composer with your own hands. I'm so happy with this community.
Talking about the crops, what happens to the surplus crops?
Okay, let me say, end of the day when we harvest our cloves, okay, I'm gonna take something to home. Or really I can give to those children, the most children that just come here also to do something, can give them, or sometimes they used to cook here, when they're playing here, they used to cook here and eat, enjoying them, their clothes. Or they're gonna take home, or cook home.
Yeah.
Not really that I'm gonna sell it, but if somebody maybe say I got this $10, one this spinach, I can get it so that I can go buy my seeds tomorrow. But most of the time we just enjoy it, our fruit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Reaping from what you sow. I love that. Thank you very much for your time, Yana, Mr. Uncle Wilbert, and Dr. Philemon as well, for just sharing with me what goes on here and how important it is, the work that you do here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're most welcome.
Food Tree, feeding the future. When you put your hands into something that you love, only love can grow from there. Thank you for watching.